Hello students. Okay. So today I am continuing with the last class. Yes. So last class I done with classification of financial institutions or intermediaries. Okay. In the last class the chart has been given. Okay. You go through the chart, you will understand, right? So in the last class just I put a glance on the chart, like it was like organized sector, unorganized sector, money market intermediaries, capital market intermediaries, right? So under RBI, commercial banks, cooperative banks act, post office, saving banks, government bills. Okay, in capital intermediaries, development banks, insurance companies, agricultural finance institutions, UTI, Unit Trust India, Exim Bank, NBCS, okay, non-banking financial companies, government, NSC, national saving certificates, provident funds, okay. These are what we say the capital market intermediaries. Unorganized sector money lenders, indigenous bankers, pawnbrokers, traders and landlords. Okay, this chart that has been given in the last class. Okay, so these all whatever intermediaries are there, the same those will be repeated in the upcoming classes. We can say in the money market or capital market in upcoming chapters. Okay, we'll go detail in a future classes, right? So now time being, okay, now I would like to move to the next, that is called C or third, financial instruments, assets or securities. Okay, financial instruments, assets or securities. Financial instruments, assets securities. Okay, so here we can say here what we have the financial market like money market, capital market, even we have the financial assets, and again we have the what financial intermediaries, okay, like banks and institutions. Okay, now finally we need the instruments here. Yes or no? Yes, market is available, intermediaries are available. The next thing is what here, what to buy and what to sell. Okay, nothing but we call instruments or assets or securities. Okay, so here we say the third important constitute of the Indian financial system, that is what, financial instruments. Okay, they represent claim on a stream of income of a particular asset. The financial instruments are called financial assets because they earn an income for the owner of the assets. Getting me? Because they earn the income for the owner of the assets. If example I am the owner of the assets, okay, my assets are going to earn income or they are going to generate income for me. Okay, that is called what? That's what we call financial assets or instruments. I will give one example. Like now, if X buys equity shares of a company, these shares are called financial assets. Getting me? For example, the X person, he will buy the shares of XYZ company. Take example. Okay, the whatever shares he have been purchased, those are called financial assets because they earn income for the shareholder. Yes or no? Because by after purchasing shares what? Okay, on a shares we get the dividend. Dividend is nothing but called the income. Getting me? So that is what here we call the instruments are called what? Assets. Getting me? And it is important and necessary to know the distinction between the financial assets and the physical assets. See now, difference between physical assets and the financial assets. Okay, both are the assets, but what is the difference? You can say if you go to the futures, okay, the physical assets are visible, you can see, you can touch, you can have, right? The opposite, the financial assets are what? You cannot touch, you cannot see, but you can feel still, right? So these are the what the natural differences. You can say the futures, you can say. But in the other than apart from this, again there is a difference. What is that? Oh yes, that is what actually. While the financial assets are useful for further production and earning an income. See, the financial assets are useful for a further development or a further production and to earn an income. The physical assets are not useful for a further production and for earning an income. See here, if you have the financial assets, those are very helpful for a further production and to earn an income, while the physical assets are not useful for a further production and a further income. Getting me? Yes? There is only an example. What is that? If X buys a gold or a silver or a land and building, the physical assets. Yes or no? These are the physical assets. The physical assets, they cannot be used for a production of goods. Getting me? Whether the building or a silver or a gold or whatever these assets have been used for a further production? No, these are not used. Yes? They are mostly used for personal consumption. Yes or no? These assets are used for what? Personal consumption. I buy the gold. Gold for what? Whether I am going to buy the gold for further consumption, further production? No. I am purchasing the gold for my personal use. Yes, me? You can say my further personal consumption. Yes or no? Yes. But when you buy the asset for further production and income, to generate an income, such assets are called what? Financial or a physical, financial assets. Yes. It should be further be noted that the objective of purchase of a self-residence, it becomes a physical assets. But if some building is purchased for hiring, it becomes a financial asset. Friends, you need to understand here. While the bifurcating the financial asset and the physical assets, you can see some machinery, building, okay, furniture, these are all what? Physical assets. Sir, stock, shares, debenture, these are called what? Financial assets. You can bifurcate in this way. But here, you can convert the physical asset into the, you can, to be easier, you can say when the physical assets are converted or the assets are used for a further production and income, again such assets will become a financial assets. Getting me? For example, I have constructed the building, or else I have purchased the building for my personal consumption. This type of assets are called what? Physical assets, and the asset is not going to generate any income. But when I am constructing the building or when I am purchasing the building to hire a rent, okay, rent basis, then it is called what? Financial assets, because from the building I am getting some of the income. I have constructed the flats and I am given a rent. Yes, the rent is called income. Getting me? Then such assets are called what? Financial asset. Getting me? Means from which asset we are generating the income or receiving the income, such all assets are called what? Financial assets. Getting me? But the moreover to be understand here, the maximum the physical assets are used for consumption, of personal consumption, not for a further production and income. Maximum assets are called, right? That's what here. To be understand, the financial assets are all the assets, electronic assets you can consider as a financial asset, maximum assets you can say. Getting me? So now classification of financial assets. Okay, next is what? Classification of non-marketable assets. Now question arises, what are the difference between marketable assets and non-marketable assets? What are the marketable assets? Yes, which assets are having demand at a market, which assets are quickly, what we can say, we can sell them quickly. Yes, such assets are called marketable. Which assets are not having any market demand, or there is no any quick you can means quickly you cannot sell some of the assets, right? Such are called what? Non-marketable assets. You can say here marketable assets are assets which can be easily marketed, that is which can be early transferred from one person to another. Getting me? See, why we call it is, some of the time what happens, you know, your asset has a demand, but asset is not transferable easily one person to another person. Again the demand will be collapse. Getting me? Yes, because not only demand is required, further procedure must be very essential. Getting me? If the assets are easily transferable one person to another person, such assets will be having the more demand in the market. Getting me? For example, I want to sell my asset right now. Okay. Now, very next of second, somebody will be ready to purchase my asset. Yes, and I can sell asset him, and I can transfer even the ownership title to him. Right. So this is called what? Marketable asset, because it has a demand even, and then you can transfer the easily one person to person. Getting me? Yes. So now the best example for the marketable assets are shares of listed companies, government securities, bonds of public sector, etc. Getting me? Example of shares. Okay. Shares of public company. Yes. Easily transferable person to person. There is no any prohibition on the transfer of shares. Easily you can sell and you can repurchase them, right? So this is called what here? Marketable asset. That's what here people will be very they are having very keen interest in buying and selling of shares, because whenever you want you can purchase. Okay, if you feel to sell them, it's what you can sell immediately. Getting me? And the ownership will be transferred person to person quickly. Yes, this is very essential, right? That's what here they have given the example for marketable assets are what? Shares, the bonds, okay, government securities, etc. Yes, these are called what? Marketable assets. Now come to the next. That is called what? Non-marketable assets. Non-marketable assets are the assets which cannot be marketable or marketed, that which cannot be transferred from one person to another easily. Example, bank deposits, insurance policies, national saving bank certificates, provident fund, pension fund, etc. See, which assets are not transferable easily person to person. Such assets are called what here? What? Non-marketable assets. Okay, take an example of bank deposits. Okay, see, if you have a FD in a bank, FDs are not transferable. Yes or no? When the maturity date comes, right? Means on the date of maturity. Okay, if you want to withdraw the money, the same person has to visit the bank to withdraw the money. Yes. Andre ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ರೊಕ್ಕ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ. At the time of deposit, they may allow you to deposit somebody else. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕಿದ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಿಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲೌ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಡೇಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಆ ಮನಿ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಪ್ರಿವಿಯಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಮೆನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಏನದ ಅದ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಏನದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ bank deposits are not transferable. Okay, that's what such assets are not marketable assets, because you cannot sell, you cannot buy them because of ownership. Yes, ownership, because ownership is not going to change person to person, and even it is not transferable. Yes. So such assets are called what here? Non-marketable assets, and such assets are not they do not having any demand in the market, right? So here let us understand what are the marketable assets and non-marketable assets. Okay. In the financial assets, here it is called marketable assets. Non-marketable assets. Yes, under the marketable assets, we can say shares, debentures, bonds, government securities, MF unit, trust units, others. Okay. Here it is. Bank deposits, PF, insurance policies, company deposits, NS, CS, others. Okay, so here the chart says what are in the financial assets, what are marketable assets and non-marketable assets. Even though as the meaning itself indicates, marketable means what, which are easily transferable to person, okay, and which are having a more demand in the market. Non-marketables are very not transferable of ownership of person to person, and those will be not having any demand in the market because of restrictions on transfer. Okay, transfer of ownership you can say, right? So what are the marketable assets here? Shares. Yes. Now, for example, I can purchase shares of XYZ companies. Sorry, company, right? So here, after purchasing my shares, okay, whatever the face value of share is there, okay, it may be the premium value, it may be the discount value, whatever is there, or share at par, whatever the value of share is there, I will pay to the company and I will get or I will purchase some of the shares. Okay, on shares I get the dividend, that is my income. Okay, and the shares are transferable person to person. Debentures. Debentures is nothing but the debt you can say. Yes or no? Debentures are what? Debt. The debenture will provide the long-term financial service to the company or a DD. Getting me? Okay, on the debentures, the company has to pay interest, and the interest will be fixed. The fixed rate of interest the company has to pay for a certain period, whatever the term they have agreed. Getting me? The bonds are nothing but even the financial assets. Even though bonds are transferable. Government securities. Okay, even the Union purchase government securities like treasury bills. Example is treasury bill. Okay, MF units. MF is nothing but mutual fund units. Okay, now the mutual fund is very familiar to people. Okay, because in the television also they will show the ad. Okay, mutual fund is subject to market risk. Yes or no? There are many number of schemes like SIP scheme, systematic investment plan. So many of open-ended, closed-ended. So many of plans are there, types are there. Okay. Even the mutual funds are what? We are marketable assets. Even though those are transferable, and the trust units and others. Okay. So these all are what we are marketable assets. Now come to the non-marketable assets. What are the non-marketable assets? Bank deposits. Just now I told you that a few minutes back more. The bank deposits are non-transferable. Provident fund. Because I tell you later why those are not transferable. Because bank deposits, PF, provident fund, you can say insurance policies. Okay, company deposits, NSA, national security certificate. Okay, others. So now, whatever non-marketable assets are there, even though still they will be called like non-marketable assets only, but these assets are meant for self-benefits. That is the main reason here such assets are non-transferable. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಗಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗಲಿ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಅವನೊಂದು ಏಳಿಗೆ ಆಗಲಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಬಲ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇವೇನಾಗ್ತವೆ, ನೀವು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇರೋಷ್ಟು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಲಾಂಗ್ ರನ್ ಇಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ನೀವು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಯಾರು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಒಂದು ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಹೌದಾ, ಈಗ 50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಡೆ ಆಯ್ತು, 50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನಾನು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಬರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ 50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಮೈ ಡಿಪಾಸಿಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ PF ಪ್ರೊವಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಫಂಡ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ all employee will get this facility, PF provident fund. Okay, so whatever the income he will earn, whatever the salary he will receive, out of salary some of money will be kept as a provident fund. Okay, and the contribution of a PF will be the both employer and employee. Okay, 50% employee, 50% employee throughout the group. Okay, that's what here the employee contribution also there and the employee contribution also there. The both the contribution is called PF. So that is also when you get the back your money, okay, you can withdraw, but when you withdraw the PF, you cannot withdraw the 100%. There is a percentage here. But when you leave the job, okay, when you resign the job or when you get a retirement or the resignation, you get what? The PF money with interest, addition to the interest. And the insurance policies. Why insurance policies are required here? To meet my future uncertainties. Okay, maybe the accidentally or a natural you cannot say life is uncertain. I am there tomorrow. I am there today. Tomorrow I may not be, right? So what about my family or what about my dependents, survivors, right? ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಕಂಪನಿ ಡಿಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸೇಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ NSC ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಬಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್. Because these assets are very helpful for our individual growth and an individual benefit. Get me? So these are what we say marketable and non-marketable assets, and difference between you can say the marketable and the non-marketable assets. Getting me? Okay, so next I would like to start the next topic, major issues in the Indian financial system. Major issues in the Indian financial system. Major issues in the Indian financial system. Okay. You can also call drawbacks or weakness of Indian financial system. You can also call weaknesses of Indian financial system. So here we are going to study here what are the majors here, or what are the issues, or what are the weaknesses in the financial system. We compare our country to the developed countries. Okay, still we are growing, we say, still we are developing countries, we say. When you are living in a developing country, obviously you are under in a developing economy. So because even though if your economy itself is developed, means what you can say a developed country, because everything depends on the money or economy. Get me? If you are having a healthy economy, means what? Obviously you will be living a healthy life. Yes or no? If your economy is disturbed, means what? Again it is we all the lives all have been disturbed. Yes or no? Yes. Because of that we are not living the standard of life, you can say, or you can say standard of living. Still the government is trying to improve the standard of living of people. Yes or no? But even though if you are comparing the past decade, in the decades to compare better, now we are better. We are living a better life in So our drawbacks are issues in the financial system. Okay, right? The first one is existence of monopolistic structure. The first major issue is what? Existence of monopolistic structure. Existence of monopolistic structure. Okay. Second one, existence of dominance of specialized financial corporations. Existence of dominance of specialized financial corporations. Financial first you have to know the issues only. Okay, yeah, first existence of monopolistic structure. Monopolistic marketing नाम करेंगे ना, monopolistic market. Okay, monopolistic market ಅಂದ್ರೆ dominant market. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕೆಲವೇ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದಾಗ ಕೆಲವೇ ಕೆಲವರು ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಇರ್ತಾರ, ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟನ್ನು ಅಪಮಾನ ಅಂದರೆ ಗ್ರಾಹಕರ ಭಾಳ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊನೋಪೊಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸಾರಿ, ಮೊನೋಪೊಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಹಂಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಕಮರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ತ್ರಾಸ. ನ್ಯೂ ಕಮರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ what very difficult to newcomer to come and capture the market, because already there are sellers, okay, who they have captured all over the market, and they are very few, but they are having a huge number of customers. This is point to be noted. Same thing happens in even the financial system. What happens here, you know, for example, they have given LIC, GIC and UTI are occupying the monopolistic position in the mutual funds. Note, mutual funds, okay, mutual fund ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅದು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಯಾರು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ LIC ಲೈಫ್ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, GIC ಜನರಲ್ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, UTI ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ದಿಸ್ monopolistic position in mutual funds. Yes, the weakness of this large structure is that could lead to the inefficiency in their working or lack of effort in mobilizing savings of the public. Okay, so there is a what is the lacking here actually? Lacking is that lack of effort in mobilizing of savings of the public. Okay, ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಈ source here, what is the source here? Okay, what is the flow? Or because individual is considered is a consideration of individual is very essential here, because whatever saving you are going to collect from the public, that is the only source here, because individual need to invest. Okay, that individual saving is very important here. Okay, and the when you are mobilizing, when you succeed in mobilizing the saving of individual, then you could say yes, I am succeed. Yes, then you could say my your Indian finance system is very better, you can say. Okay, but it is not happening nowadays, because these whatever they might taken, these institutions are sometimes fail to collect or to mobilize the saving of individual. That is one big drawback, you can say. Next is what existence of dominance of specialized financial corporations. Okay, what are the industrial financing today in India is provided by the financial institutions established by the government, both at the national and regional levels. Okay, what they have said, the financial institutions established by the government, both at the national and regional levels. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಂದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಎರಡೂ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲಾಗುವ ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. These development banks act as a distributive agencies. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಲ್ವಾ, as a distributive agency ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ, since they drive most of their funds from their sponsors. So what is the source for them? The source is what they drive the most of funds from the sponsors. Okay, as such they fail to mobilize the savings from the public. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ, they are having some of the popular industrialists, you can say, okay, or the big companies involved in that. Okay, they will get many sponsors for them, and they are collecting the fund from the sponsors, and they are neglecting the general public. Getting me? So they fail to mobilize the savings of public. See here, you may run the market, you would run in a better way, but when the economy is called developed economy, healthy economy, when the individual of the country is living happy life, and when it happens, when he mobilizes savings, and when he mobilizes saving, when these kind of institutions will encourage him to mobilize, encourage him to lend money in a stock market, and when he will get the better return on investment. These all should happen. Yes or no? Yes, or else what happen? The poor become poor and the rich become rich itself. This the policy will happen then. Yes, that's what here. This existence of prominence and specialized finance corporations. So what is the backlog of this Indian financial system. Okay. So that's what we see. This is a serious the issue of the growth of an efficient financial system in the country. Because to run in a finance system in an efficiency way, okay, we need to mobilize the saving of individuals or public. Getting me? So friends, these are actually there are many major issues. I am going to explain them in the next class. Okay. So today I am going to stop the here only. Yes. Today we discussed here about classification of financial assets under the marketable and non-marketable. Okay. Where the major issues. Yes. And the instruments or assets of the market, okay, financial market, right? So in the next class we will continue with the major issues. Okay, until then, take care, bye.